going on, folks? Taking a real quick minute to talk about kit. We've got an AIWB course coming up in about 2 weeks. And invariably, whenever we do this particular course, we end up seeing some poor choices, if you will, when it comes to gear and kit. This particular example is from a pretty good friend of mine. Not calling him out on the carpet or anything, but the moment I took a look at this thing, I said to myself, we need to have a conversation about it. So what makes this DeSantis holster such a poor choice? There's a couple of things, right? The first most glaring thing, in my opinion, is the injection molded hook clip that it comes with. This one is a little bit unusual, and it actually deceptively has a very cool feature. If you unlock or loosen, Jesus, words mean things. Loosen this screw, you'll see that it's got a mechanism that has teeth that lock into one another and allows you to adjust the clip to different angles, which at first glance seems really cool, right? You can get the holster to sit in your waistband at different angles. Here's the problem with this particular system is that in order for it to work and those teeth to clamp into one another and lock into one another, you really have to tighten this screw down significantly. By tightening that screw down significantly, what that does is it makes the fit of the holster. You can hear the click as it's seating. It makes the fit of the holster super, super tight as well, which some folks in the industry refer to that as passive retention. We want passive retention on our concealment holster. No, we don't want passive retention on the concealment holster. The retention should come from your belt line. This is an example of what I'm talking about. If I hold this holster upside down, the gun will just about fall out of it. However, when I go to mount this onto my belt line and that belt is tightened down, that squeezing of the belt actually increases the retention of the holster, of the firearm in the holster. That's where your retention should come from. It should not come from the pressure of this screw. What that's doing is that's really sabotaging your ability to get the gun out of the holster when it counts. And if you've got gear that is sabotaging your ability to get the gun out of the holster and actually use it when you need to, that is the very opposite of what you want to do with a concealment holster. That's number one on the clip. Number two on the clip, the reason why I don't like generally these plastic injection molded clips is this right here. You can see the space that has developed over time between the end or the point of the clip and the body of the clip. What that does is that space allows space for the belt to actually come out when you go to draw this gun. And what's going to end up happening is instead of having the gun in your hand, you're going to have the whole gun and the holster in your hand. That's exacerbated by the fact that the firearm is so difficult to get out of the holster to begin with. And that probably has something to do with why that clip has widened out as much as it has, right? What are one of the other problems with this particular holster design, if you will? The design of the holster, again, it impedes your ability to draw the gun properly. Why is that? Well, if you look at where the top of the actual clip ends, it's right here in that notch where your hand would get a full firing grip. And getting a full firing grip, you can see that my knuckle is way past the top of that clip. What does that end up doing? Well, if you imagine this being mounted onto your belt line, the belt is going to be right here. When I go to get that full firing grip, what do you think is going to be in the way? The belt's going to be in the way. So guess what? I'm not going to be able to get my fingers completely wrapped around the gun, which is going to result in me having a very crappy grip once the gun finally comes out, if it comes out, without the holster coming out with it. All kinds of problems with this setup. And we haven't even spoken about the length of the holster. I'm not even going to address that. That's a completely separate issue. Folks, if you are out there shopping for gear that is going to serve the purpose of personal protection, either for yourself or your loved ones, buy quality kit that's going to allow you to take advantage of every ounce of skill that you've developed to this point. Don't buy kit that's going to get in your way, things that are going to prevent you from even being able to grasp the holster properly, things that are going to prevent you from being able to draw the holster, and things that are going to prevent you from even having just the gun in your hand, that will allow the entire holster and the body of the holster to come out with the gun. These are all problems that we don't want to have in the midst of a situation where you need to draw your gun to protect yourself. It just doesn't make any sense. Buy kit that's going to stay out of your way. This is an example of what I'm talking about with the clip. First and foremost, DCC clips, man, those are, and this is coming from a dude who never was a huge fan of metal clips. I really didn't like them because the ones that were designed and were distributed in the industry prior to DCC coming out with their design, they were pretty subpar in my opinion. However, being exposed to DCC clips, these are one of the metal clips that I am a huge fan of now. I've got these on at least 3 of my concealment holsters, and I highly recommend them when they are available options. There's one exception to that, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But let's go back to the belt line, right? Having this on the belt line, if I go ahead and get a full firing grip, you can see right here where the top of the clip ends is nowhere near my knuckle. So it's not gonna interfere with me being able to get a full firing grip and being able to get that holster get that firearm out with a full firing grip on presentation. That's what you wanna be looking for, is making sure that that kit is staying out of your way and it's allowing you to do what you need with the gun. This is the one exception to the rule, with DCC clips being my favorite. These clips right here, they're from Tier 1 Concealment, and this is on the MSP Pro holster from Tier 1. This is probably one of the best, if not the best, concealment holster that I've ever dropped coin for. And I'm not just saying that because my boy Scott Jedlinski actually came up with the design. Tier 1 took his design elements and his recommendations and knocked it out of the freaking park, right? But one of the conversations that I had with Scott was whether or not to buy the DCC clips for this holster and bypass the Tier 1 clips. And Scott told me, he said, look, man, I understand that you're a big fan of those DCC clips. Give these Tier 1 clips a try because they are a game changer. He did not lie. These things right here are designed very, very differently. They are much more rigid. I've been rocking this holster for well over 7, maybe 9 months at this point, and in no way, shape, or form has this given, okay, on either one of these clips, which this one, as you can see, is angled off. So if any of them would have been stressed, it would have been this one on the front. And you can see there's no space there whatsoever. You get very, very positive retention on the belt line. It's also got a very unusual, I'm not sure what you would call this, I guess a pinching design for the top of the belt, which is super cool. It makes the holster sit on the belt line very rigidly. There's no movement whatsoever. And probably the best element of the design on these clips is your ability as an end user to be able to make adjustments and have these clips ride a little bit higher or a little bit lower without actually removing them from the body of the holster. All you have to do and I'll show you right now, is loosen these screws up. Come on now. Loosen these screws up, excuse me. And you can go ahead, you can see, you can actually raise or lower the clips without ever removing them from the body of the holster. First time I've ever encountered something like that. I don't know of any other company that makes a clip like that. Super, super cool. What that does for you, it allows you to customize and adjust the ride height. As you see, when we go lower with the clip, the holster now rides higher on the belt line. As we go higher with the clip, the holster's gonna ride lower on the belt line. And again, the way I've got these adjusted, let me see if I can get that to the same spot. Yep, right there. The way I have these adjusted, when I get a full firing grip on this, the belt line or the belt itself would be completely clear of my fingers, allowing me to get a full firing grip. Anyway, I think we've beat that dead horse at this point. Buy good quality kit. Buy kit that is going to stay out of your way, that's going to allow you to be able to develop your skill to the highest level and be able to utilize that skill at the moment of truth when you absolutely need it, and it won't be in your way to impede you. That's my recommendation. Folks, if you have any questions, if you would like to chat about my outlook on what is a good concealment holster, if you've got a holster that you are thinking about buying and you want an opinion on it, man, hit me up, hit me up. I don't consider myself the know-all, end-all subject matter expert on concealment holsters, but I have made a lot of mistakes. I've got a bag sitting over there that's got probably about 30 concealment holsters that I've gone through because I've made all those poor decisions. I've made all those bad decisions and found out what actually works and what doesn't work. So again, I'm here, I'm available. If you need help and guidance on what to get and what to avoid, which is probably more important in my opinion, hit me up and let me know, man. Shoot me a message or go ahead and post up on this video any questions that you may have. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. Look forward to training with a few of y'all in 2022 and beyond. And remember, train, prepare, prevail. Follow that process and you will succeed.